Is the Maharashtra election still too close to call? A highly fragmented polity has confounded pollsters and pundits alike. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. Our focus today is on the all-critical assembly election of Maharashtra, one that will have an impact on national politics. And like with the Lok Sabha, politics remains extremely fragmented here. In the last few days, we have also seen two things happen. Gautam Adani, the business leader, become a hot potato topic in the electoral battlefield. And two, we have seen a certain degree of fissures and ideological dissonance exposed between Devendra Fadnavis led BJP in Maharashtra and the NCP Ajit Pawar faction, in particular with reference to Yogi Adityanath talking about Batenge Toh Katenge. To talk about what may lie ahead and whether anything has changed since he first looked at the numbers. Joining us now is Professor Sanjay Kumar. I want to welcome you to the program. Sanjay Kumar is, of course, with CSDS. Thank you very much, Sanjay ji. When we were speaking a few weeks ago, you said that the election was simply too close to call. Would you still say that, or do you think something has changed?
Yes, I would still say that election is too close to call. Too close to call means it is a very close contest between the two alliance partners. Yes, we see that within the Mahayuti, which you referred, that there are some differences of opinion on the kind of slogan which has been raised by BJP leaders. But that doesn't give me a sense that they are lagging, either lagging behind or moving ahead forward in the electoral race. It is a close election.
Sir, in the last few days, we have seen a certain amount of ideological dissonance emerge in the BJP and its allies. Now, of course, that ideological dissonance also exists in the opposition camp. For instance, Amit Shah has dared Rahul Gandhi to praise Veer Savarkar. The differences between the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray, and the Congress are also well known. But now those kind of ideological differences have also emerged in the camp of the BJP and its allies, in particular with reference to the Yogi Adityanath comment or slogan, Batenge Toh Katenge. Devendra Fadnavis
Mm.
went so far as to describe Ashok Chavan and Ajit Pawar as coming from a pseudo-secular background. He said, उनको समझा देंगे, उनका background ही अलग है. So, how serious are these contradictions?
I'm not sure whether these contradictions are serious or not, but I think the impact which is these contradictions are making are on the voters' mind. My own sense is that a very large number of voters are confused. They have not been able to make up their mind which party or which alliance to vote for. And this is an election where I get a sense that a very large number of people are still, holding their voting preference close to their chest. They are not revealing their voting preference. Not revealing means they're getting confused because of several factors. One factor which you have already mentioned, there are contradictions within the alliance partner. So what happens is that a voter may be a voter of a particular party, but he doesn't like your alliance partner. He is confused. He is still not been able to make up his mind whether he should go with the alliance or not. So that's one new story coming out from the elections of Maharashtra. Second, in very large states like UP, Bihar, Maharashtra, Andhra, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, normally when we talk to the people, we get a sense that a very large number of people vote on party lines. That may not be the case in Maharashtra election because there has been so much of change of parties, people moving from one party to another. So there is also, I'm getting a sense that a very large number of people in Maharashtra may wait till the last moment. They are looking at the candidate, and the party-based voting is going to come down drastically in this election compared to the last election of Maharashtra, or if we compare Maharashtra election with any other state. So I think these are the two things new, which is emerging as a new phenomena in Indian politics, at least what I can see as of now.
Right. I'm going to play out the Prime Minister's clip because he's waded into this controversy around Batenge to Katenge in an oblique way, not in a direct way. Just let's listen into what the Prime Minister had to say.
इसलिए मैं कहता हूं एक है तो सेफ है एक है तो एक है तो एक है तो हमें एकजुट रहकर कांग्रेस के खतरनाक खेल को नाकाम करना है।
So the Prime Minister himself has now entered this debate, but on the other side, there are leaders like Pankaja Munde, Ajit Pawar, Ashok Chavan, who have expressed a certain amount of disquiet, not over the Prime Minister's comments, but certainly over the Yogi Adityanath comment. There is also some apprehension of a Maratha Muslim consolidation maybe behind the opposition. How serious is that concern, you think, or how serious is that fault line?
Uh, I'm not sure whether these reservations are making any impact on the voter choices of the voters. But yes, I think these are serious discomfort within the alliance partner, because if we have like Ajit Pawar, so the problem is that these are the parties which have in the past, got or mobilized the Muslim vote. So what would happen if BJP or the alliance partner goes along with such aggressive slogans? They are bound to lose the Muslim vote, and there are constituencies where their candidates are contesting with sizable number of Muslim vote. So I think these are serious concern within the alliance partner, and that is what I just the point I mentioned earlier. That is creating a confusion in the minds of the voters. Like, just to give you an example, maybe a voter is want to vote for Ajit Pawar's Shiv Sena, but when he hear his alliance partner coming up with such an aggressive statement, maybe they don't like the statement. So this is the confusion which is creating in the minds of the voters.
Now, this is a confusion on the side of the BJP and its allies. Is there also confusion on the other side, that you see a similar confusion for the voter who may want to vote for Uddhav Thackeray, invoking Bal Thackeray's legacy, but he hears Rahul Gandhi say something quite different? Is there a similar ideological confusion on the other side?
Definitely confusion is on the both sides. Confusion is on the both sides of the voter. But I think my own sense is that the confusion of the voter of Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi is slightly less, and far more on the side of Mahayuti. The confusion of the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi is only largely about who is going to be the chief minister. Where I am a voter, maybe a loyal supporter of Uddhav Thackeray, but he or she is not sure whether, if the Maha Vikas Aghadi manages to form the government, whether his person is going to be the chief minister or not. So there are confusion, there are apprehension, there are issues in the minds of the voter. But my own sense is that far more among Mahayuti voters, less among the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi voters.
Sanjay ji, you said your own sense is that to that extent, there's a slight advantage with the Uddhav Thackeray side. How there is also your own data that shows that Uddhav Thackeray also leads the personal popularity ratings, but Eknath Shinde has his own base. Is this election going to be decided on the basis of individual? You said party loyalty is not what's going to drive it. So, what is going to drive it? If it's not party loyalty, is it individual loyalty? What is going to drive it?
As I said, if I look at party-based voting preferences, my own sense is that in Maharashtra election, it is going to be far less compared to the previous election of Maharashtra. Largely, candidates are going to matter much more in this election compared to the last election, compared to elections in other states. So people are watching the candidate also, because we should not forget, a candidate has been in party A but now shifted to party B, and at the time of getting a ticket, if he didn't manage to get a ticket from party B, he may have shifted to party C. So a very large number of voters are watching the candidate, they are looking at the candidate. So party-based voting is not going to be very, very important, nor even the chief ministerial candidate. It is the candidate-based voting. Candidate means the local candidate. That's going to matter far more in this election compared to past elections.
So to that extent, you would say that it's going to be very different from the Lok Sabha. Like, even in the Lok Sabha election where the BJP took a big knock, there was a sense that there was great sympathy for Uddhav Thackeray in particular, even among those who may have otherwise preferred the BJP or were fans of Modi. Certainly one picked that up on the ground. How do you see the dynamics of this assembly election? Because it's just a few months after the Lok Sabha election, different from the Lok Sabha election. Is it very different or are there overlaps?
Not very different. certainly there is an overlap. My own sense is that, the sympathy factor in favor of Uddhav Thackeray, there is an overstatement about that. At least this is my sense of how people look at Uddhav Thackeray. Because if you look at his counterpart, which is Sinde, he is also, he's not seen as someone who has stabbed Uddhav Thackeray in the back, because people look at his background. People look at his journey from a very humble party worker up to becoming the chief minister. So I think Uddhav Thackeray, getting a sympathy vote is an overstatement. Yes, the battle is about which party or which side would be seen as like taking the legacy of Balasaheb Thackeray's forward.
What you're describing could very much lead to a hung assembly with no clear winners and no clear losers. I mean, we don't know.
Uh, I'm not sure whether that's going to happen, because finally people are looking at the two alliances. There are smaller regional parties in the contest, but I don't think that they are in a very strong position. So, yes, there will always be a possibility of a hung assembly, but my own sense is that in a tight contest, one or the other alliance will definitely get a majority. That's my sense at this moment.
And at the moment, you're giving that advantage to the opposition in Maharashtra.
Sorry.
And at the moment, even in a tight contest, you are giving that slight advantage to the opposition.
Not sure I would be in a position to do that, because it is really a tight election.
Now, Haryana reminds you what tight elections and tight contests can do. And the BJP has somewhat gone into Maharashtra more emboldened than it was right after the Lok Sabha. What do you think is working for both alliances, and what do you think are the weak spots of both alliances?
See, the weak alliance of Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi is, uh, I think, narrative. They have not been able to build a strong narrative, like contesting election only on the plank of Samvidhan Bachao. Caste census is not going to work to the advantage of Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi. But if I look at Mahayuti Gadbandhan, one of their alliance partners seems to be very weak, seem not to be working very well. I am referring to Ajit Pawar. So it is kind of a relay race on both sides, and there are three players on both the sides. And in a relay race, you need all your three players to be equally strong in order to win the race. So on on Mahayuti side, there is one alliance partner which seems to be weak. But on the other hand, BJP seems to be much stronger compared to any other party. If I compare all the six party, BJP seems to be very strong. So the disadvantage among the Mahayuti side is that you have a very weak player. But on the other hand, if I look at the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi, they have not been able to come up with a very positive narrative.
But talking about Ajit Pawar, you say that he's a weak partner for the BJP. He's also a controversial partner. Even in the Lok Sabha, a number of BJP voters said, why did we ally with him? We were accusing him of corruption. Now, in a series of statements, he's also muddied the waters about whether Sharad Pawar, who's on the other side, was in fact almost going to join the BJP, which has been a matter of constant speculation. He's also brought in and then denied Gautam Adani as a context or as an issue in this election. I don't know how much the ordinary voter will care about these issues. Maybe journalists enjoy this story much more. But Ajit Pawar has created confusion. He has created a certain degree of confusion with his very ambiguous statements.
So certainly, he has created a confusion in the minds of the voters, in the minds of people who are watching the election. Uh, but that's not the only reason why I say he's a weak partner. You look at the ticket distribution also, he is considered as the weak partner within his alliance partner, because his party is contesting far lesser number of seats. There is a evidence in front of us also. Look at the Lok Sabha election. Out of the 24 seats which his party contested, his party managed to win only one seat. So there is an evidence in front of us that his party is a weak partner. If I compare his party compared to BJP and Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena. So that is why I am mentioning that that's the problem. That may be the problem, or that may be a disadvantage if I consider Mahayuti as an alliance.
So you are saying that the BJP has set a stronger narrative, a clearer narrative, let's put it like that, a clearer narrative than the opposition. But the BJP is being pulled down perhaps by a weak partner like Ajit Pawar. And that is the challenge on the BJP side. The challenge on the Uddhav Thackeray side, what would you describe it to be?
The challenge is they have not been able to come up with a positive narrative. The same narrative of Samvidhan Bachao caste census may not give them the kind of dividend which they got in the Lok Sabha election. So the same kind of a story they are coming, they're the same narrative. They are trying to use the narrative which they use for the Lok Sabha election. Batoge to katoge. You may like, you may not like, but at least it appeals. It actually connects to the people. I'm not sure whether it is connecting to the extent that it is going to give a clear victory to BJP, but at least they have come up with something new, whether you like it or you don't like it. Prime Minister Modi came up with is bar 400 par. People didn't like to the extent, and BJP didn't cross 400 seats, or NDA did not cross 400 seats, but at least you come up with something. So something new has been presented to the people. People are getting at, we are talking about that, so it has become an issue. There is very little talk about, very little discussion about any agenda of the Congress party or the agenda which has been put up by the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi.
Let's end with talking about the national leaders in this, the Prime Minister and Rahul Gandhi. How do you see them being factors or not factors at all? How do you see it?
No, it would be too strong to say they are not no factor at all. These are big leaders of their own party. They have campaigned in the state. But I must say that my own sense is, yes, this is an election where national leaders, role of national leader is far less compared to the state leader. Prime Minister Modi is on a 6-day foreign tour. Rahul Gandhi, after spending a lot of time in Wayanad, has now entered campaign fray in Maharashtra. These are also indications that the big national leaders of their own party are not spending too much of time in Maharashtra election. It is a local election. It is a contest of local leaders.
And to conclude, how much does the result of this election matter for national politics?
National politics, I think, more than national politics, uh, about the party. If BJP manages to form the government, if Mahayuti forms the government, uh, I think the entire discussion that BJP is on the decline, and the whole narrative which got built around Congress, that Congress is on the up, which get punctured a little bit. But on the contrary, BJP loses this election and Congress and the allies forms the government, then I think the narrative that Congress is gaining attraction, BJP, if not on the decline, but at least stabilized, that narrative will become much stronger. So that's why I think these elections are going to be important for the two parties, at least the two national parties.
All right, Sanjay ji, I think it's a rare election where no political pundit of any consequence is willing to stick their neck out and make any kind of forecast. That in itself makes it quite an interesting election. Hope to talk to you after the results are in. Thank you. Take care. See you soon.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.